Exceptional Military Service Award, Don Nelson.
I think that I was richly rewarded throughout my entire life for the skills that I started in the ROTC flight program and in ROTC in the leadership programs. I came to Eastern Washington University for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was an economic buy in 1961. Number two, I'd played sports in high school, played football, and I was a pretty diminutive sort, and I thought Eastern might be a place that I could have a chance to play football again. One of my fondest memories on football was that in 1961, when I came here, there were 50 people. We were NAIA. You just walked on and hoped you got a job. And the way we worked the team, there were 33 uniforms. And the top 33 guys out of the 50 that were on the field wore the uniforms to the varsity game. One of the benefits of ROTC was you got a paycheck. Notwithstanding, they also had an aviation program, and I'd always thought about flying, for a living maybe. Commissioning at ROTC was in June of '66, and I was commissioned a second lieutenant in the Field Artillery Missile School branch at that time. The first obligation for a newly commissioned officer was to go to a branch training qualifying school, and that was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. My service in Vietnam was a range of things. First was being a new guy, not knowing anything, being hot, not being able to fly, because my first duty was, as the Viet Cong attacked in force, our airfield was attacked, was not ever penetrated, but Lieutenant Nelson was told to guard the fence from there over to there, and that sometime you'd get to fly. So I spent my first week, looking out over the fence, not knowing who was out there and getting pretty nervous as a young man. And then watching the helicopters fly back over and forth over the top of me. After that first week, I finally got into an aircraft, got a check ride, and started doing the basic simple missions of flying with one pilot and one aircraft, and then eventually advanced into flying a formation flight, and then became an aircraft commander, and that was always an intermediate goal where you're the boss of the helicopter, you're not the co-pilot. Probably the most meaningful awards that I received, the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry. Soldiers always wonder how you're going to do when you get to the point. And the Valor device, or the V device, is one of those things that is of importance to people to know that they put their life on the line or did something above and beyond. I received no Valorous awards through the United States Army, but I did receive 2 Valor Awards from the Vietnamese, which was particularly meaningful to me because those were the people that we supported directly most of the time. Prior to being a gunship pilot, I was a support troop carrying pilot. And one of my missions I had was with a pilot who had just been promoted to being the command pilot. So he was on his own for the first day. We were sent to go fly and join 9 other helicopters and transport Vietnamese troops into a battle. We were coming into a landing zone with the troops on board. It was very dusty and smoky. They were burning off rice paddies, and the pilot flying lost track of everything. He couldn't see the ground, couldn't see the air, and the aircraft started to roll very close to the ground. And as I looked up at my instruments, it indicated that the aircraft was about to roll over and hit the rotors on the ground. And so I flew it for the last 10 seconds. I just instinctively reached up and grabbed the control and pushed it to the side, which leveled us, and we immediately hit the ground, kind of smooshed would be the good word, went sideways, and we tore the landing gear off the bottom, but we remained upright. After I completed my active duty in San Francisco in 1969, I happened to break into a state job and became acquainted with the Ohio Army National Guard. I didn't really know the Guard had such a footprint in Ohio, and it offered a tremendous opportunity to get back and fly the same type aircraft that I flew in the Vietnam War. It also offered a chance to earn some money, and it also put me back in camaraderie with people, veterans like myself, who primarily, probably 80% of the people in the Guard were Vietnam veterans. Well, I credit the fact that ROTC was a program. I mean, the college, because it was a land-grant college, required me to participate the first 2 years, but the second 2 years were a voluntary thing. I would like to see more kids that maybe wouldn't get to Eastern have that opportunity through a scholarship fund and have that access that I had at one time. That's why I think it's important for the ROTC scholars. I was fortunate to be able in the National Guard to continue to seek out commands and have people that believed in what I did and the way I did things that rewarded me with further promotions and further responsible positions. I consider myself a patriot. By being a patriot, in my mind, it means that you respect your country, that you respect the service that all the people have given their country forever.